Coming up on today's show, we have a homemade biscuit and gravy recipe that your family's sure to love. That's all coming up next. Hi, I'm Rhonda Thurer.
And I'm Laverne.
And we have a nice submitted recipe from a family friend and cousin, Irene Height. She submitted our dessert recipe. So I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But before that, we got a great homemade biscuits and gravy recipe that sounds wonderful. So that's if you wanna cook along with us, just get a piece of paper and a pen, write down the ingredients and go ahead and cook along with us. What you're gonna need is 2 cups of pancake and baking mix, 2/3 cup buttermilk, a half a stick of butter, and just a couple more tablespoons, a 16-ounce package of pork sausage, a tablespoon of the W sauce, 1.5 cups milk, a 1/4 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. So
not very difficult.
No, but it's going to be tasty. I know it is.
Well, we'll get that here.
I will get that. And this is the recipe that Irene had submitted for us. It's apple fajitas. This is gonna be
They are
awesome.
great. We had them on our camping trip here, and they were gone.
All right. So to make these with us, I should say, is you're going to need 1 12-ounce package of flour tortillas, 2 cans of apple pie filling. Cherries also work if you want to do it that way. And for the juice, you need 1.5 cups butter, 1 1/4 cup water, 2 cups of sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of flour. Pretty easy.
It is. It's pretty simple.
All right.
So,
where do we want to get started?
we're going to first get the apple fajitas in the oven because
Okay.
they bake at 350 for 30 minutes.
Okay.
So while we're making our biscuit and sausage gravy mix, this will be in the oven.
All right.
So first of all, I'll have you spray we're going to do a 9 by 13 pan.
Okay.
And you know, this recipe would be very easy to cut in half if you did not want to make that full recipe, because it asks for 2 cans of apple pie mix and stuff. So, I mean, you could just take 1 can and make half of that if you wanted. And,
Right, yeah,
and
just
all
use a
the other
smaller baking
ingredients,
dish.
yep, just cut down. And another thing too, being the recipe, it does say 2 cans of apple pie mix. Irene had actually used her own apples and peeled them and cooked them, put a little bit of sugar in, and used a little bit of tapioca for the thickening of it, and just a tiny little bit of sugar, and it was great.
Okay.
So certainly people can, use your own apples. Just make up that mix and add a little bit of cinnamon or something in there with that. So that was great. So we're going to take, well, in fact, what I would like to do first is get this in the oven to I'm going to put it in the microwave to boil, heat the juice mixture, to put over the fajitas. So. Okay, it starts with, I got 2 cups of sugar in here.
Okay.
And it asks, I believe it's 2 tablespoons or 1.5 tablespoons of flour.
Yep.
So we're going to just put that in there. And I'm going to just use my little mixer, a whisk, just to whisk that up. Okay, just blended the flour in with my sugar.
Okay.
So it asks for 1 1/4 cups water.
Okay.
That. And it actually asks for 1.5 cups butter, which is 3 sticks of butter.
Well, there's why it tastes so good right there.
Yeah, it was, definitely. And, I think a person probably could very easily cut down, probably 1 stick.
Okay.
It certainly would be worth a try, because I think that would be just work well. Too. Sometimes, it does get carried away, but we're going to just go ahead and make it as the recipe says, because I do know that
It was very good.
Excellent, correct. And then we just want to bring this to a boiling point,
Okay.
because that's just going to get poured over the tortillas and the apple filling. Okay, got a little butter on my handle here. So I'm going to put that in the microwave I'm going to start out probably about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And then stir it up, and if we need to, we'll probably need to go more than that, but I like to get it going and then stir it before I finish it off. So
Sure.
okay, what we're going to do is, in fact, I'm going to have you help me.
All right.
You take your can and I'll have my can here, and we'll just go ahead and it says about 1/4 cup in. Now, if you were going to have your own apples and stuff, you probably could have them a little smaller than this.
I'm going to roll them up.
And we're going to roll them up and just that in there.
And you put them
We're
folded
put
sides
'em-
down?
We're going to put them close together. If you do make your own apples, I would probably cut the pieces a little smaller
Okay.
and that, but this still works out great. And
Yeah,
that,
some of the pieces in here are quite large.
yeah. And then you're going to want to tuck them pretty tight, together and stuff. So it does make quite a few. And I did, there was a couple of them left, and they really heated up very nicely. That was something that was easy to, have at another date or whatever. So I think I lost a apple here. Okay. Well, I think we'll go over and I'm going to just stir up the juice mixture here. Now that butter's melted in. It's definitely getting hot already, but we want that to be, we're going to bring it to a boil. We don't have to boil it for any length of time, just bring it to a boiling point. So put that back in there, and we put it on for another 3 minutes, and I think that probably should do that. Okay, hey, you're going to town here.
I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
I can't say that very often.
Yeah, and this is really, it was great. We ate it actually for breakfast, with our coffee and that. It would make a great dessert too, when it's warm, to put some vanilla ice cream on it.
Oh, sure.
Or even, I think some whipped cream would be great too on that. I think this might be too much for one, but not enough for two. We'll make it for two. Let's just take that out and put that in there. And tucking them close together helps them to open up. And I think we're going to be able to put that in right here. So,
All right.
and we'll just wipe this up here. And then we'll pour the juice over it, and then we're going to just sprinkle it a little bit with a little bit of cinnamon sugar. Not much, just more for that cinnamon and a little bit of little extra look, on that and stuff. So, okay. Well, it actually looks like this is starting to
boil
already here. Let's just mix that up.
Well, it sure is hot.
Yeah, it is. And I think that looked like that was just perfect here. So we're going to pour that over the tortillas here.
So those people that are viewing that have high cholesterol, don't make this and let anybody know that there's 3 sticks of butter in there. Or make it, but just don't let anybody know.
All right. Okay, so we're going to just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon sugar over the top. Okay, now we'll put that into the oven.
All right.
And we're going to put the timer on for 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to come over here now, and although this bakes at 350, the biscuits need to be baked at 425 for 15 minutes. So
Okay.
we'll make the biscuits, and then, you know, they'll be ready to pop in the oven as soon as those are out. And it'll give a chance for the fajitas to cool a little bit while we're finishing up with the sausage and gravy.
All right,
there.
sounds great.
Okay, let's see. Now, use any pancake baking mix, and I do have Bisquick, and that's usually what I use.
Okay.
But it's not the traditional that you just add like the 2/3 cup milk.
Right.
We're going to actually use buttermilk in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you make your homemade buttermilk, or did you have some buttermilk on hand?
I had some buttermilk on hand. So that, and then a 1/4 cup of butter, melted butter. We're going to put that in there.
Okay.
And then we're going to just take the fork and blend that just so we get to a nice soft ball stage. And then all we do is drop them on the cookie sheet. And you do not need to grease your cookie sheet for this. Do it
Okay.
on an ungreased cookie sheet. Okay. So you can see just that liquid in it. Mixes up quite easily here. So there we go.
And it's a pretty thick batter. You don't want it to be runny or anything.
It is. So we're going to just drop that. Make about 8 to 10 biscuits on here, whichever. I mean, if you like, it says 8, but if you prefer to have them a little bit smaller,
Sure.
go ahead and just do that.
And this is a pretty simple biscuit recipe.
It is, but you know, the buttermilk and, of course, that little bit of butter in there really makes those biscuits just that a little extra special.
Sure.
They're going to taste fabulous. And now this cookie sheet, I do have one that's probably a little bit bigger that would fit 10 on there a little bit easier. So we're going to just make sure we're going to make 8 out of this.
All right. They're getting bigger as we go.
Right. We'll
I
just
see the
have
trend.
We'll just go ahead, start from the first and add just a little bit more to them and kind of equal them out. You know, I think biscuits and gravy, sausage gravy is always a crowd pleaser, no matter where you go for that.
Well, it's not just a breakfast. I mean, that's something that you can easily make for a supper.
Absolutely.
You can have it for any meal.
It is. It's kind of nice sometimes to be able to do some of those things for your supper, whatever, where it doesn't take quite so long. And, you know, it's great. There's nothing that it says that it has to be
Right.
a breakfast thing. So, okay. Well, those are done. So we're going to just put them over here until our fajitas are baked.
Okay.
And then we're going to start with our sausage. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in here, and let me get a little spatula. And put the burner on here. We're going to want to, you know, brown the sausage, you know, so it's not pink anymore.
Okay.
Cook that up. And certainly, you know, you can do any of preference and stuff. I wanted it spicy.
Okay.
So I did take a hot, spicy breakfast sausage.
Okay.
But if you can't handle or your stomach doesn't always agree with that spiciness, you probably would want to maybe just use a regular style of sausage.
Okay.
So-
Well, and it just depends on if you have young people in your family, if they can't tolerate the hot yet.
Right, absolutely. So we're going to get that cooked up, and then we're going to make our gravy.
Okay.
We're going to make it from scratch. And it's so simple because you're going to have milk and flour and a little Worcestershire sauce and pepper and salt, and there you have your gravy. So that's going to be great.
Well, we'll come back and show the viewers how to do that once we get this all browned up.
Okay, we have our sausage cooked here.
Okay.
And that butter, that butter browns, and it gives a wonderful flavor to the gravy. That's why we add that little bit of butter in there, because it's that brown butter taste.
Okay.
And it's gonna, it's just that extra flavor that makes it so extra good. So now we're going to add our 3 tablespoons of flour.
Okay.
And I'm
What
going
you
to use
looking
my whisk. There we go. Because when I add, I want to blend that pretty well before I put the milk in there and
Okay.
the other seasonings. We want to blend that up with, and as you see, you
Soaks
think
up
of
the butter a little bit.
That's right. But this way your flour doesn't get lumpy.
Right.
That's why we stir that in first. Okay, so that's blended here. So now we're going to add 1.5 cups of milk.
Okay.
And of course, with that flour in there, that's our thickening for our gravy. Okay. So, and now we're going to add, I've got 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and salt in this.
Okay.
Because we're using a pretty hot breakfast sausage, a lot of spices in there. You don't need a lot of other, spices and that. So you can always add, and if you want more, but don't
overdo it to begin
Don't
with.
overdo it. And then
Especially when you're using Worcestershire sauce.
Right, hey.
That's why some people do call it the W sauce.
Thank you for saying that for me. So I did not have to do it. So that was just a tablespoon of that. And we're going to just blend that up here. And I put my burner on quite low because I just wanted to thicken gradually, slowly. So I would just go ahead and stir it for a little bit till you know that it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to just cover that.
I can tell you picked out a hot sausage because I'm seeing little red flakes in there.
Oh, you can see that. Okay, yep. And again, it's going to be absolutely just a matter of preference. If you don't like the spiciness, just use a regular, sausage, breakfast sausage there. So, okay, we've got that stirred. And I'm going to just put the lid on there and just keep it on low.
Okay.
And it's just going to thicken, and the fajitas will be done shortly, and then we'll put the biscuits in, and that takes about 14 minutes, and then we'll be able to feature both of them.
Make everybody jealous.
That's right.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Okay, our beeper has went off our timer for the fajitas, so that they look great. But before I do that, the biscuits need to bake at 425, so I'm going to just change that temperature right now. And that's so then I don't forget that. So let's take out our fajitas, and I'll let you open the oven for me.
Okay. Ooh, they're bubbling.
Ooh, they are nice and hot. And the top gets a little bit of golden crisp there.
Yes.
And stuff. I'm gonna, in fact,
okay.
I'm gonna just put them on over here. And what's nice when we're even seeing this already, we see, that little bit of flour, it has that little bit of thickening to it. And when it cools down just a little bit, it's gonna even be easier to serve with that. So
Okay.
let's put our biscuits in. And it says 14 to 16 minutes. Now this pan is one of the darker ones, and it browns pretty quickly, so I'm only going to go at the 14 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll put that in and put the timer on. And let's just look at our, oh, see, that's just
thickened up really nice.
That's just perfect there. So, smells good.
It does.
Okay, so All we have to do now is wait for our biscuits, and we can show the viewers how good and easy it really is.
All right, sounds great.
Okay. The buzzer has been going off for our biscuits, so let's just check to see how those are. Oh, just perfect. And that was 14 minutes with this, so we're going to put that over here. What we're going to do is I'm going to have you cut a biscuit open.
All right.
And I'll give you a knife, and we'll get a spoon to put some gravy on. I'll get my biscuits and the sausage and gravy over here.
Want me to open up too?
Why don't we? Yes, I would say we should. There. And as you can see with our sausage and gravy, it's just great. Just the right, thickness here.
Right. It's perfect.
Whoop.
You missed a little.
That's
That's okay.
Yeah. Put that on there. And I think our viewers will really be pleasantly surprised how that little buttermilk and that little extra, just a 1/4 cup butter in that is going to make those biscuits taste so much better. So when they're not even making sausage and gravy, they're going to make their biscuits like that all the time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Now I'm going to get a plate, and then we're going to take out some fajitas here. Apple fajitas. So I'm going to just...
So definitely can have those like for breakfast, or if you want to, I think they'd be a perfect dessert with ice cream. You wouldn't even really need ice cream. That's dessert, the way it is with the butter.
It's just dessert, yes, absolutely. So there we are.
Oh, they smell wonderful. And thank you, Irene, for submitting your recipe for us to cook on the show for our viewers. I know that this one's going to be downloaded for people to make. Absolutely.
I think so.
And this smells awesome as well. Thank you for making these, Mom.
You're welcome.
To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. Thank you always to the Workshop for being our sponsor, and join us next time when we do it all over again here on Cooking Crave.